I want to talk about consciousness today, and I want to come at it from a different angle because honestly, most of what gets said about consciousness in the new age world is watered down nonsense. It gets presented like consciousness is this blissful state you eventually achieve if you meditate enough, think positively enough, raise your vibration enough, or follow whatever spiritual trend is popular this month. But mechanically, that is not what consciousness is. Consciousness is not a soft cloud you float into. Consciousness is pressure. That is the first thing to understand. In the human design body graph, the head center is the pressure center. It creates pressure to think, to ask, to question, to process, to make sense of something. That pressure is not accidental. That pressure is part of the mechanics of awareness. So when we talk about consciousness, we are not talking about escaping the human experience. We are talking about a mechanical pressure that moves through the mind and creates the possibility for awareness. And this is where things get interesting. In human design, we are not dealing with one single consciousness. We're dealing with two. There's the personality crystal consciousness, which is what you usually think of as you, your conscious mind, the observer, the passenger. And then there is the design crystal consciousness, which is the consciousness of the body. That part is unconscious to the personality, but it is still operating. It has its own intelligence. It has its own awareness. It has its own way of moving through life. So right away, the idea that I am one unified conscious being making everything happen starts to fall apart. Human consciousness is a duality. There is this consciousness in the mind, and then there is this consciousness of the body. And these two are held together in the vehicle by the magnetic monopole. That is the mechanical picture. The personality crystal watches, the design crystal carries the form. The magnetic monopole holds the illusion of direction together. And the great joke is that the passenger thinks it's driving the car. That is the not self. The mind looks out at life, processes everything, forms opinions, creates stories, and then says, I know what we should do. But the mind is not here to make decisions for the body. That is one of the biggest misunderstandings in spiritual culture. The mind is not the authority. The mind is not the driver. The mind is not here to control the life. The mind is here to witness. That is the real purpose of consciousness, witness consciousness. Your mind is here to observe, process, reflect, and eventually express awareness outwardly, not for the purpose of controlling your own life, but for the benefit of the other. Your mind can be brilliant, it can be insightful, it can see patterns, it can articulate things, it can ask questions no one else is asking, but the moment you give it the steering wheel for the form, is the moment you let mental pressure make decisions for the body. You move into distortion. This is why inner authority matters so much. Your body has its own consciousness. Your form has its own intelligence. Your authority is how the body communicates what is correct for you. And this is where my own design becomes very personal. With the cross of consciousness and with gate 63 and gate 64 in the head center, this is where pressure from both sides of the head center. The 63 carries logical doubt, the 64 carries abstract confusion. So there is this pressure to process consciousness through doubt and confusion, through logic and abstraction, through questions and fragments, and the need to make sense of experience. That pressure is not a problem. It is part of the purpose, but it becomes a problem if I try to use that pressure to run my life. That is the distinction. That is the nuance there. The pressure is not here to make me decide. The pressure is here to become awareness and eventually share my knowing with the other. It is here to be processed, witnessed, and eventually expressed in a way that can serve other people. So when I hear people talk about consciousness like it is just peace, bliss, love, light, and positive thinking, I think we are missing the actual mechanics. Consciousness is not a destination. It is not a spiritual trophy. It is not a mood. It is a process, it is pressure, it is awareness moving through form. It is the passenger learning to stop grabbing the wheel and start witnessing the ride. And to me, that is far more extraordinary than the fantasy version, because the mechanical truth does not make life less mystical. It makes it more precise. You are not here to think your way into alignment. You are not here to use your mind to control your life into perfection. You are here to live according to your design, make decisions through your inner authority, and allow your consciousness to become a witness. That is the real work, not escaping pressure, understanding it, not worshiping the mind, seeing it clearly, not trying to become conscious someday, but recognizing that consciousness is already operating through you as a mechanical pressure, asking to be witnessed instead of obeyed.